Hi, Julie.
Thank you.
Thanks. Just say when.
Mhm.
Now?
Not
Okay.
yet. Nope.
We'll see it up there.
Julie.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, now you're good.
Okay. Call this meeting to order. Any, at, what is it, 6:03? Any changes to the agenda?
I don't have any today.
Public comment. So now that we're streaming, do we do public comment via live stream also? Can they communicate or not?
No, live stream doesn't, I'm not monitoring the comments and we didn't
Okay.
advertise this live stream, so no one's online. This is just a trial for us. It will be
Okay.
recorded there
Gotcha.
permanently. If we want to do comments, then we would have to have someone monitoring those as well.
Right.
So we'll
Okay.
talk about that later, I guess, but no comments.
Okay, so no public comment.
Mhm.
So moving on, the minutes, there's, I believe, 2 sets of minutes, right?
Yeah, so there's first, let's do facilities meeting draft. That was brief, but I'm not exactly sure if this is a full board thing or if just Sue and Cora do this. I don't know how this works when it was a facilities thing. I think it would just be, or do we even have to approve minutes for a committee? I'm
They
not sure.
probably just receive them,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, that
because
makes sense.
they can't say whether it
Because
was.
we'd all abstain. Well, I would, because I wasn't there.
Okay.
Can
Okay,
I just
well-
say, that like with council, we have to approve the minutes for parks and for planning commissions, even though we aren't on, we aren't there. They do come to council to approve the consent calendar.
I'm
Okay,
curious if
you
you
guys don't.
approve to receive, because you can't really approve accuracy, but it's a.
They go through that process and then that like someone from staff submits them. So yeah, I
I
don't know.
have the
Okay,
latest.
so then the question
Rogers on
is
my, Roberts and my wish list. I haven't received it yet.
the order.
Yeah, the question is,
Sorry.
no, I was gonna say, you said the question is,
I think that then Sue and Cora were there, so they would say, are these accurate? And then if you guys consider them accurate, then the board, we can do a motion to accept those minutes would be
Okay.
then what I would
ladies,
suggest.
that sounds good to me.
I found them accurate.
Are they accurate?
Are they?
Are they accurate?
I found them accurate. I think that, for their under herbicide policy, I also said that I would reach out to ODHS, but I don't think it's worth amending the minutes to include an extra detail.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So, I'll entertain a motion to approve the facilities committee minutes.
So moved.
Second, okay, any more discussion?
Am
All in favor?
Am I saying
Yes.
approve or accept in the minutes?
Accept.
Okay.
Accept the minutes.
Phoebe says approve. And I say that I've been asking for the latest edition of Rogers for a
But
while.
accept and approve.
I'll say accept and look into it. We'll address it later if that's wrong.
Okay.
Accept them and approve them at the same time and cover all the bases. I mean, we're
Well, the
straining at
question is
gnats
whether
anyway,
people
so.
who
why
were
not?
in that meeting can approve the content.
Okay, well, I can approve the content.
Well, let's go ahead and have a vote on if we accept them. We have a motion and a second, I believe, to accept the minutes. All in favor? Opposed? And as far as approving, does the committee approve the minutes?
Yes, it was, Peggy moved and Pat
Thank you.
seconded.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Julie.
I don't, if you're doing a second motion for the same facilities minutes,
No, I wasn't doing a second
Okay,
motion.
these are the
Asking
regular
them
ones.
if they approve them.
okay,
I'm just asking those two if they approve them,
okay.
just to get it on record that they do,
Okay.
I guess. So
Okay.
let's move on to the regular minutes from March. Any changes or corrections, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, I made 2 corrections from Kathleen. One that I misspelled Abigail's name and one her last name in the second mention. And what was the other one? I already changed it. Now I don't remember.
The other one had to do with the,
Oh, the date
Quotes.
on the bid, which it actually, that is correct. It was early that I got
was
it.
March 4th. Okay, I wondered. Okay, so just that one change then to the minutes from
Yes.
me.
Mhm.
Anybody else?
So what we're looking at is correct.
Yes, this is the corrected copy. Amended.
Yeah, I think so.
Of the
No,
the
that
minutes
one's
that you
wrong.
have, no, if you look under, let's see, where is it? I think 4A, I left out the M in Adamitis in her last name,
On this side, I see.
Okay,
and
so on,
that was the correction, which I just made, and so you guys don't have the corrected copy, but
so in section B, the M is missing as well.
section B.
Yep, I think that's the only error.
That is the first time she spells it right, the second time we just missed the M. There's
Okay,
only, her name's only in there twice.
So I didn't look at the surname because the first name is so.
Yeah. So any other changes? Corrections? All right, I'll entertain a motion
So moved,
as amended.
as amended, so moved, we accept the minutes as amended.
Okay, second, okay. Pat, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye or yes, or raise your hand, whatever you do. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, financial report, Phoebe, you're up.
Okay. So we'll start with the Miser Fund. Interest rate has not changed in the month of March. And you'll note there in the green, we have highlighted the interest that was, or dividends that were accrued for the month, and below that, the account balance. Next is grants. And just to let you know, I reprinted the copy. You have a more current copy in front of you because on the key names, I forgot to change the margin. You get this one. So anyways, the one that you received online was missing the SRP road grant at the bottom there. And the copy you have in your packet has that. So highlighted at the top, we have 2 grants that were received within the month of March. The SRP is Summer Reading Project from Rogue, and then Oregon Humanities 2026 is the grant that is related to the Oral History Project. So both of those had been previously accepted by the board and receipted in. And then below that, we have the expenses highlighted for the month. There were some Friends of the Library Book Club purchases, and then the Makerspace Endowment Fund Makerspace Landscaping, all that was landscaping costs. And then below at the bottom there in green again, you have highlighted the current account balance at the end of March. Any comments or questions? We'll move on to the Library Improvement Fund then. And again, highlighted at the top is the current dividends for the month. And then the expenses in yellow, which are broken down below, both for the storage unit and then HGE costs for their fees that came in for the month. I believe that was probably for the access project and those kinds of things. Their consulting fees that came in.
Mhm.
Any questions there?
Before we move off of this, then, is there any thought as to how long we're going to have the storage thing for 140? I mean, it's not much, but you know, 1 drip of water eventually equates to an ocean, so how much longer are we gonna do this?
The
You guys, thought about
at the
that?
Friends of the Library book sale in May, we are reselling all the chairs that we already sold at a different bookstore, but the person never came and got them. So we'll be selling what's in there. It's the things that we've already marked as surplus long ago. And so once those are gone, then we'll get rid of it. So it'll be before the end of this fiscal year.
Good.
Good to know.
I'll ask this question again during the director's report, but I'll say it now so I don't forget. And that is, I remember that we had the fire marshal quibble with the attic storage, and I was wondering if we needed to keep the rather inexpensive storage unit for that reason, storage container,
Oh,
or
that's a
not,
good
but
question.
we can get into
Yeah.
it during director's report if you'd like.
Okay, yeah. Good question.
If there's nothing else, then the next is the balance sheet. And again, that just shows all the account balances matching along with what, is on your manual reports, plus the other assets and liabilities. And then we have the general fund. Highlighted in the top in green is, current taxes that came in, prior taxes that came in, the interest, and then the services with the total income below in green as well. And then each subcategory of the object classifications are highlighted for you in yellow or orangey yellow there. And I did go ahead and highlight the repairs and maintenance. I think we're all aware that that is higher just because of the additional costs that have come in on landscaping pieces. But other than that, nothing is unusual or one-time fees for the month. So nothing really else other than what's kind of ordinary operating procedures for the month. Any comments or questions that we can answer there? Not, then following that is the last fiscal year March document for comparison. And lastly, the credit card statement for the month.
Looks pretty good. Any comments, questions before we entertain a motion to approve? Financial report.
Thank you, Judy. I always appreciate that. Every time I look at this sheet with our general fund budget versus actual, every question I have, you've somehow clarified already on it. So in particular, I remember thinking, oh, so what percentage of the year are we at? Oh, 75%. You know, what was it last year? Oh, it's on the next page. So thank you. It's so easy to follow.
Anybody else?
Well, since we're talking about the percentages, I'll note that we are at 100 or at 101% or 1% of the funding having been received, which is maybe not really remarkable. I don't know how many people pay on the 3 installment plan that is option. There are people who do.
I do.
I really wonder how many people actually fit into that category when there'd be so many coming in towards the end of the fiscal year.
It used to be
Is-
about 20%. I don't know.
20%?
If you look at last year,
Yeah.
we were actually still not at budget.
Yeah.
By this point in time.
Yeah.
So one thing that I can tell you in preparing for this year's budget is that there's a chart that gives the uncollected by county. And so whenever I am preparing, the county gives the expected revenue, like what is due to the library. And then from there, I have to reduce that by the amounts that are anticipated to be uncollected. And then there's another percentage as well that have to be reduced that, which I'm not recalling right off the top of my head what that is in regard to, but I can tell you that last year, the rate was higher of anticipated uncollected, and this year it's gone back down. So I found that interesting, and it goes based off the statistics for our local jurisdiction, which means that it seems like we've actually got, if you look at last year, we were behind in what we should be collecting, and this year we're not. So just interesting to see the way that works. But yeah, we always take into account an amount of uncollected taxes every year.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. I have a motion.
Move to accept the financial report.
Okay.
Can you tell me who moved and seconded?
Yeah, Peggy moved and Pat seconded.
Thank you.
Sure. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand. Opposed? Motion carried. Take that thing. All right, next up, annual library improvement fund review.
So this is just something we do every year. It started several years ago. I think before or during our renovation, when we were getting a lot of scrutiny on the library improvement fund. And it was just an effort to make sure that it was documented that the board was reviewing this regularly. Law requires that this fund, special funds, be reviewed at least every 10 years to make sure that they still need to exist. And we have opted year by year to make a choice to review it in the following year. So we do this annually. This is the resolution as it reads that basically says, yes, this exists for what purpose. And we are saying we reviewed it, we want it to stay, and we'll review it again in 2027. It's not required. Again, we're happy to do this. It's not a big deal. I just copy the resolution and present it to you. And then we have this document that shows that, yes, you guys are consciously looking at it and making sure that it's still appropriate for library purposes. But at any point, the board could decide to go back to 10 years, go every other year, go to 5 years, just so you know. But the resolution as written is to say that we will do this again in 2027.
Okay. So does anybody want to change this from every year to anything else up to 10? I mean, I'm perfectly happy leaving it every year because we look at this every year that we do the budget, right? So
Seems
why would we not?
Yeah,
Right?
and it seems appropriate to remember that we actually are saving money in the library improvement fund.
Yeah.
For the purpose of future expenditure. It's appropriate to remember that.
You will always remind us.
I know, you are right about that.
I think that's right, though, with board turnover in particular. I mean, I was thinking about this and, since I started, Pat and Peggy are the only two board members that were here when I started. So, and there's been a couple of seats that have changed over more than once, or at least one seat. So it is good to have these things in place, and future boards don't have to abide by anything this board decides, but at least it will maybe be that reminder for anyone who's on the board that it's important to look at it and remember what we're doing.
I communicated with Julie a little bit in advance as our current treasurer and said it seems to me that the ratio of the amount of work and time it takes to simply review it and sign the resolution is such that I think an annual review is completely appropriate use of our time and our attention. And as Sue's saying, draws our attention to the fact that we have a choice about this and what we're saving the money for. So I'm perfectly happy to continue with 1 year, and I don't need to suggest that we make it something less frequent.
Doesn't hurt a bit to review it every year.
I think it would be kind of wild to do it only every decade. So.
I agree. Okay, so if we have consensus, I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
I can second that.
With Sue and Cora.
Thank you.
So it's been moved and seconded that we accept the resolution as written. Any more discussion? All in favor, say
Aye.
opposed. Motion carried.
Do we have a primary copy that we should sign right now?
Well,
I was just gonna ask, do you have?
I have one, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
If you have two copies, sign two. I don't know if.
Okay.
if that's
What
you
is today?
want, but-
One will work and I'll just copy it. I'll
Okay.
Xerox it from mine.
Okay, thank you.
And Julie, that was unanimous.
Yes.
Kat didn't jump up and down and wave her arms or anything, but she
Okay.
agreed.
Okay, good. I
thought I
figured
heard
if
something.
she agreed she would be pretty loud about it.
Yeah. Okay, next on the agenda, annex roof replacement.
So I
We
described
have-
this, the situation in the director's report. I think, yeah. So I got these two quotes as you guys requested for shingles and metal. This is a situation where we do not have to do the entire big bid process, which is a giant relief to me because that certainly complicates things to have those giant contracts. So just the question is, where are you guys at? Do you want to do the shingle roof? Do we want to do the cheapest option, which is red sky roof shingles? CNR is the company that did our library roof, and their shingle quote is matching our existing shingles on the library exactly. I didn't get any information from Red Sky about what shingles they're providing in terms of, you know, the if they're 30-year or 40-year or whatever it is. I can certainly obtain that information, but I'm guessing they kind of just did the standard, which I'm guessing is 30-year.
I
So
think 10, I think it's 15.
Yeah,
15.
I can give additional information about that because
Okay.
an association that I'm involved in is looking at re-roofing as well, and we have a quote from Red Sky Roofing as well. And they are talking about using exactly the same thing. And I called them up and said, okay, so what is this? And she says, well, there's a 20-year guarantee on, however, we back it up with what's called the Golden Pledge Limited Warranty. You'll see that on the third line, and that guarantees workmanship for 50 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
but not the product.
But not necessarily the product, but the product itself is guaranteed by GAF, the manufacturer.
Product 20 years?
Yeah, no, maybe it was 25. Yeah.
and
How
I am
much was
trying
it?
to remember, I should have looked this up, that the shingles we went with on the library, I think were longer. I think we specifically chose
This one says 50, if it's gonna match it
Mhm.
exactly.
okay, then I was thinking 50, but I didn't want to say it. But yeah, I was pretty sure that they were 50-year shingles. So I would say that's the biggest difference. I mean, metal roof, it's nice to know the price. And I would love to do it, but I'm not sure it's the right financial decision right now. I mean, although they would last forever, so I guess it is a good investment. I am happy to let you guys decide.
How much was the Red Sky?
This is 18.
For the metal.
Mhm.
13 for shingle, well, 14 for
Yeah.
shingles also. Is that just material or things?
That's everything. That's their full quote. So they're pretty affordable. And then CNR was more. But
Yeah, CNR was like $10,000 more.
22 for CNR and 13 for Red Sky.
Well, then there's, oh, no, that's an option.
again, the 50-year material warranty and 10-year workmanship warranty is what CNR offers versus a 20-year shingle and a 50-year workmanship.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
So
Needless to say, they got our business for the HOA that I'm chairing for that reason, because they'll back it up. Now, will they be here for 50 years? That's always a question you have to ask when you get a guaranteed warranty of some sort. But they've been here for a while, so.
did they put that in writing for you?
Yeah, that's actually part, I don't have it now in front of me, but yeah, that's part of what is called the Golden Pledge Limited Warranty, and if you read the whole thing,
Okay.
that is, yeah.
I think this is good. I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a
get
big
quotes all
fan
the
of
time,
using
so-
local whenever possible, A. I don't know that annex across the way is worth putting $22,000
Okay.
per roof in it.
It is more than double life estimate, but I take that with a heavy grain of salt.
Yeah,
for
me too.
proximity to the river and the ocean.
Yeah.
Especially for a metal roof, because any kind of,
Well, this is even the shingle roof we're talking here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, if we're talking shingle to shingle, yeah,
Yep, I'm just comparing shingles to shingles here.
yeah.
Doing the straight cost per year estimate, the CNR construction does make more sense. I don't care at all about the roof color matching exactly because we're not even in the same side of the street, but like you say, Kathleen, is 50-year more expensive roof might be overkill for the annex. I don't know. And in 20 years time and 25 years time, there might be all sorts of building hardening that we need to do for fire prevention, etc. So I don't think that we need to invest 50 years onto it.
How old is that building? Do you know, Julie? The annex, how old is it?
I
you
don't
know?
know. I know that they redid it in 2003. I think it was built in the 50s, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
about.
I know that we had to do, the deal for asbestos and everything when
Right.
when it's so, and lead-based paint,
Mhm.
because it was older than that.
Nice to know it's been remediated.
Pre-70s is lead-based paint, so I don't know about or asbestos.
So on the one hand, I think that straightforward financial decision to make would to say 22,000 or 23,000 divided over 50 years is the better decision, but the flat dollar amount for our current budget, the 13,500 is looking a lot
Yeah.
better. And it gives us more flexibility to do other things that we want to do.
Do we?
Not
And there's
only
a lot
that,
of
but
things
I
on the list.
recently, yeah, I
And it's
recently
not a
had
bad
somebody,
time to save money.
yeah, I recently had somebody put in a less expensive roof that was still a good roof and a good
Oh,
guarantee.
you said they
With
sprayed
the
it.
understanding, she talked to the roofers and they said, if there's a problem, we'll come back in 20 years and put that coating on the roof.
Mhm.
And that will protect it and you won't have to get a new roof.
Yeah, I
So
picked
there's
up that
different
card.
things in the future, so.
Do keep in mind that the Red Sky Roofing, the seamless aluminum gutters is an extra 28. So, and I
As
know
for the other people too.
it's extra, doesn't,
Mhm.
okay. No, I don't, it specifies it as extra.
Alright, so
So we made our decision.
Anyway, yeah, so do I have a motion to accept? one of those?
clarification, do we think the CNR construction includes the gutters?
Well, that's
You know?
how I'm reading it, but maybe it's,
Well,
maybe it
Doesn't
doesn't.
say, does it?
It's,
I was just trying to read that and
it doesn't have a-
I think you're right. I think I was assuming that the higher 36,850 included the gutters. But it says it includes an additional amount because of metal roofing installation with vented hip and ridge metal.
Yeah,
Unless-
my take on that is that the gutters are not included in either of these quotes, but Red Sky has given you an additional quote to consider. So the question is, do we need to have the gutters replaced? I don't know. Has anybody looked at those gutters?
I think in the process of re-roofing,
That's always a good thing to do at the
they
same
typically
time.
do it. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
they get pretty beat up. I don't know if that was just my house. They got pretty beat
yeah,
up when we
I
moved
did
the
it.
house.
It don't last forever. Mine are less than 10 years old. They already have a hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would say
I'm
they
having
need
similar
replaced.
problems with mine.
So if we do the aluminum gutters and downspouts, we're looking at 16,290 for Red Sky with regular asphalt shingles.
And I don't think that CNR is including them in their 22.
It's hard, I can't tell, but. So, sounds like we've pretty much come to a consensus. Does someone want to make a motion on this? Or do we want to talk about it more?
I could make a motion that we go with the Red Sky bid and include the gutters.
Okay.
Or shingles.
The Red
No.
Sky
Yeah.
roofing.
Because they just went for metal too.
Yeah, shingles.
Okay,
Single roof gutters.
I'll second it.
okay. So Pat moved, Peggy seconded. So we have a motion to accept the proposal from Red Sky Roofing for asphalt shingles and the gutters for a total of 16,290. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Oh, moving right along?
I thought that was less than I was expecting.
Yeah, I would, me,
I was
definitely.
very pleased with that,
Mhm.
yeah.
I like it. Red Sky did my stuff, so.
As well.
Yeah.
One more thing on that.
Yeah.
My limit, well. My limit to sign contracts is $15,000. So if someone has a printed one, what technically needs to happen is that Kathleen and Cora need to sign the bid that we want to accept. Sign
Okay.
and date. And then get that to me and I will get it to Red Sky. I may have to have you sign another one. If they tell me that that one has expired.
Right.
But if you want to both sign that and
Okay.
give it to Phoebe, maybe she could put it in my box with the resolution.
I wrote all over mine.
To understand what you're saying, Julie, you have a $15,000 limit to spend, but you don't need to open up to the public bidding because we didn't hit that threshold of 25, correct?
Thank you.
We actually don't hit the public bidding threshold until much higher. It was
Much
at
higher,
20
okay.
at 25,000. We have to get the three bids. I have to gather three bids. Once we get to 50,000, we have to follow the wage,
Sorry, right underneath me.
whatever the wage is. I can't remember, prevailing wage.
Right.
And at 100,000 is when we have to go out for bid, I'm pretty sure. So we're good.
Okay,
Yeah,
15, 25, 50, etc.
yeah,
Just sign under my name, I guess. Did
yeah.
I
there's
leave
not-
enough room?
out
Did I
there.
leave enough room?
You should probably initial both parts of that quote to identify that we're accepting
Ah.
both parts.
Here, I'll come your way. You don't have to keep running around. That's good. Exercise.
So it doesn't leave any question about what we are agreeing to.
Exactly.
Got it. Thank you. All right. Landscaping grounds maintenance RFP.
Okay, I was putting my notes under the wrong place and got lost for a minute there. Okay, so we don't have the RFP for that. This is one that Cora, I think, was gonna work on putting a new, so I'll let Cora talk about it.
Sure, thank you. So in the past month, we've been asking other public buildings for their how they word their landscaping duties essentially for their contracts, as well as asking for any herbicide policy. We reached out to the city, SWAC, DHS, am I missing another entity? Just large
Mhm.
public property owners in the area. And we did receive some nice verbiage from DHS and I believe from SWAC, it's in terms of how they are breaking out what has to be done quarterly or twice a year, etc. We really didn't receive any very usable language for an herbicide policy, which I'm kind of jumping ahead, but we were looking at them at the same time. So I'm kind of discussing number 5 and number 6 in the agenda at the same time. For the reason why I haven't provided a draft today for the RFP is I was hoping that we were going to get the DHS herbicide policy or the SWAC herbicide policy to be able to then build out that portion of the RFP. And it looks like, for example, SWAC did pass a resolution to adopt a policy, but haven't adopted one and are just using the language of the resolution. So going forward, using language like will be applied by, a certified technician in conformance with Oregon state laws is basically as much as anyone I think locally is doing. If we want to have a more granular requirement for our contractor, we need to come up with it ourselves, it seems like. I didn't reach out to SDAO yet to see if they had a policy, and I don't remember if somebody was going to reach out to the League of Oregon Cities, but we did receive what the city has. The other idea I have is to reach out to whatever the umbrella organization for Brookings Monarchs is to see if they have recommended language for public buildings. But I also don't want the whole landscaping RFP to be tied up on that. So my question for you, because as you'll remember, we no longer have the facilities committee, the board needs to empower me or Sue or any member here to do work. My question is, would you rather wait until we have an herbicide policy to create the RFP and ask the person or the company that we hire to abide by that policy, or should we break these up, do the landscaping RFP with the understanding that they'll need to then be abiding by the herbicide policy once that's created, or the insecticide policy, whatever.
What's your recommendation?
I don't have a particular recommendation. I want guidance from the board. I trust that we wouldn't hire someone that would just be out here like during the launch of summer reading program, like spraying away while the kids are like running through the parking lot.
I would, just off the top of my head, would say that it would be better to go ahead and move forward with the landscaping RFP. And we can include generic language about, using herbicides within under direction as approved or something.
Okay.
Just because I think the process the longer we delay, the longer we have to keep paying the rate we're paying without knowing if it's the best rate.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree with that, frankly. And I mean, we're not gonna get, I don't think we're gonna get super in the weeds on the weed spray. That wasn't on purpose, that just kind of came out. But and like Julie says, whatever we say to them, they'll have to abide by. So if we decide that every single chemical they want to use, they have to put past Julie or us, that's what we say. And then we can pick and choose. So. Anybody else have thoughts?
Makes sense.
So I guess I need to appoint Cora to continue to pursue the herbicide policies of SWAC and DHS.
I think we have pursued, we have
Okay.
what they have, which
So-
isn't much,
Okay.
but
So I should appoint you to create.
I think at the last meeting, we already agreed to ask me to draft the RFP, but at the time we thought we'd have information.
Okay, so just keep
Keep working.
working on that. And we'll bring it back in May. I guess.
The second half of that assignment was to me to locate landscapers, and I pulled together a list of 8 landscapers in our area. But I can't call them and ask them if they want a job when I don't have any idea what the job looks like. So I've done the preliminary work of identifying. The one person that's not on here is Full Spectrum. I did speak to him in person, and he said he wasn't interested in bidding at this time, so.
That's Keys, isn't it?
Yes,
I think I know why.
Oh, I actually do know why, but it's not my information
right.
to share, so I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Right.
He's not interested at this time to bid, so that's okay, that's okay.
How about when he gets out of jail?
And what do you? I'm pretty sure
That's a joke.
yeah, I'll say, pretty sure there's no jail involved in this.
We're being live streamed for practice, Pat, so next time we can't make jokes like that. They'll be recorded forever on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good one here. I won't hear. No, this fine man is simply just not available at this time.
There you go. So you have a list, and basically we'll just hold on to that until Cora's got our RFP done.
Right.
Once we've approved that, then you can take that to these
Right,
landscapers.
and I'm willing to be part of that process of contacting people
Fantastic.
to get bids, come out and take a look and
Cool.
make a bid.
Because I'll say when I sign that check every month for the landscaping and see how much we're paying to go to the dump, I'm like, is this really the going rate? So hopefully we've done as much tearing out as we need to tear out for now. And now we're in the planting phase.
Yeah, it's really
We
good.
do have someone who's been volunteering. He's a contractor, but he's a friend of Don Munson, and I think his name is Brian, but I cannot remember his last name. But he's been coming over and picking up things. So there have been some pickups that we haven't been charged for. He has said that he'll charge $75, but I haven't seen an invoice yet for a few pickups, so that's better.
And out of curiosity, how long are Dawn and Karen planning to help?
Well,
Yesterday.
I think the plan is to finish the refresh. And that is largely getting close to done on the library side. The secondary lot, not so much. But let's talk about that a little bit more under the director's
Okay.
report, because I got a couple of things on that.
Okay, cool. So, sounds like those 2 points are done. Shall we move on? Non-resident card fee review. This must be something that we said we would do, each year.
Yeah, this is an annual thing as well, that we will review this every year. I think we started this 3 years ago, and we, at that time, bumped the non-resident card fee from 60 to 75. Curry Public Library followed us, and they're at 75. And the Coos County libraries are at 100 and have been from the beginning. So I think that was something that Susanna pushed for early on, which she kind of refused to go with the going rate when we joined the Coastline Consortium. So the question is now, do we want to do another bump? Last year, we declined. It's a rough year. Things are rough financially for a lot of people. So I would say I don't want to ever increase them, quite frankly, but I understand that we have to. So I would just say if we're going to do an increase, I would prefer small and incremental rather than big chunks because people do feel it. We have some card holders who, you know, 20 bucks is a blow that might make them decide not to get a card. So.
You know, some people, I think I made this comment last year, who come up from Smith River or Fort Dick to use the library, for example. I personally like the congruence, I suppose is the word I'm looking for, of matching with Curry Public and Gold Beach. Our county AMI is lower than Coos County's AMI, and so I don't feel the need to aspire to be at the same rate as Coos County. I understand what we're in the same consortium and have many of the same services, but I do feel good about matching with Gold Beach. If Gold Beach were to, or if Curry were to raise theirs by 5 and we were to raise ours by 5 at the same time, I would feel okay with that. But I don't think I feel wonderful about having a major difference between the two libraries. But I'm obviously open to hearing what you all think. I don't think we're making very much money off of people's cards, and that people would just simply not go as well if we were to raise it quite a bit.
It's not a moneymaker for sure. I think when we increased the card rate, the impetus behind it was trying to make it more equitable between what people pay in property taxes versus what people are paying for their card. And so, but you know, there are a lot of variances to that, especially when you have multiple people in a home or rentals, you know, so what people pay for their property taxes is,
And
you know,
Of
hard
course,
to
they're also paying property tax in California and a library fee in California, so.
right.
I always hate to raise it, I really do.
Have we ever explored a summer or a snowbird card at 50% cost for you know, like
we do allow people to buy 6 months instead of a year. So we do that. And some people do.
Is it at half price?
It's half, yeah.
It's 40, so it's
Yeah.
roughly half price, but
Okay.
a little more.
Sure.
What does anybody else have any comments about?
I would say that my previous position of, that you all know and love.
We love you, though.
Which we all know.
Yes, we all know, that the homeowners are paying the bulk of supporting the library, not just subtotal, but pretty much each person's property tax bill reflects more than the 60 or even the $75. I know mine does. And so, but I also hear the comment about, you know, would they back off and not come if they couldn't afford, you know, the extra $20? I get it. I also hear the comment that what about Gold Beach, about Curry? So they followed us. So my guess is they're not going to step out in the front. I would suggest that we consider raising it $5 for this year, since we didn't raise it at all last year, and give that a little more time to sit. People can figure out whether that's something that they're interested in or not. We can see if the people who apply for the card, if that total number of people decreases or increases or whatever, and you can test the waters a little bit and see how much tolerance there is for a $5 increase. That moves us into the 50% location for the happier people, instead of where we are now at $37.50.
Great. Julie, would you be comfortable reaching out to Jeremy about his interest in doing a matched raise, or if he's thinks his board is against raising?
I can ask, yeah, no problem.
I don't know if Denise is doing up it for the Port Orford library. I don't know.
Denise, she always matched Coos. I think it was just Curry and Brookings that refused to go that high. That's my understanding. Agnes, I actually think Agnes doesn't charge anyone for but nobody goes there. They're only open.
You can't even get there.
I know, right? It's impossible to get to, so who wants a card there? But
This is a lovely place. I've been there.
yeah, it is lovely, but yeah, their library is limited for sure. Just one
And then
more
the jet.
comment on the property tax equitability. I understand that, but I also think when we're getting one person coming up and paying $75 to $100 for a card, and we're thinking about property tax rates, you know, so if we have someone who lives in one of the 55 plus communities who bought a house for $150,000, I don't know what their property tax would be, but if they have 3 people living in the house or 2 people, that's also like, you know, less per person. So the property tax bill is coming to us regardless, and it's not a moneymaker. So like the fairness thing, I just don't care to pay more. So that's the difference, I think. I'm not bothered by paying a bigger share than others, because sometimes others can't. And so, you know, I don't know if there's a way to do a scholarship program or something for people who can't pay, you know, if we eventually are trying to get up to $100 a year. I don't know. But then I'm rambling a bit because I'm thinking out loud. I apologize.
I would point out, Julie, with respect to the idea that people would come up because they had to pay another $5, you may be right. However, it is also the case that there is no fee to walk in the building and use the facility and all that. And we have plenty of people who are using our facility and not paying anything for it.
Yeah.
So I
I
don't
don't think
feel
it would
too
change for
sympathetic.
$5. I think if we went up to 100, we would lose
Yeah.
people.
There's something psychological about 100 where the family that's taking the school year to road trip up the coast and homeschool their kids might not get the library card for the 3 weeks that they're doing the Redwood unit, you know, that sort of thing. There's something about the round numbers of 100. There's a reason why everything at, you know, the store is $19.99 and not 20.
And also $5 for the year is Starbucks, one visit to Starbucks, one visit to Dutch Brothers. That's your $5.
Not even,
I know.
honestly.
Okay, that bad, huh? It's been a while for me.
$5.15 plus a tip.
Oh,
Think about it.
you're only buying a small size then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, my coffee on the way up here was $7. So
Oh, geez, Louise.
Yeah, so I don't feel like $5 is egregious, especially since we're not in.
Well, my
required-
question is, how much do we think that we're going to raise by raising it to $5?
It's a good question, and that the only way to know is to try it and see what happens.
Or is there a way to find out the real cost of administering, you know, one extra account, you know? Because otherwise we're all just shooting in the dark about a $5 raise, a $100 raise.
No, I'm just kind of thinking, do we really need to raise it? Is there a reason that we need the extra $5 that makes it important for us to raise it? That's my point.
And what might be more of a moneymaker would be like a 1 week pass or something. So we're getting tourists or, you know, the family member who's in town and can't live without the next book that just got published in that series or something. You know, a 1 week pass or a 2 week pass might be something that people would opt into that wouldn't otherwise get a card. But I hear what you're saying, which is the card is either valuable to someone or it's not. And are we making money off the additional one?
Yeah.
I like the idea of having
that
this.
idea.
Yeah, I like the idea of having a summer pass for kids that are visiting, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I like that
Like a
idea too.
Like a summer reading program, summer pass would be a kind of a fun idea, I think. We don't limit participation in, you know, story hour or the activities for summer reading to someone who's a card holder, but to be able to have a kid who's visiting their grandparents for the summer, be able to check out books and bring them home, I think would be, if I were a grandparent, I would love to do that.
You will be.
Well, so it sounds like we're kind of split between, do we go up $5 or do we leave it at 75? I love that idea of the summer cards too. Maybe we can add that to the agenda in May and talk about it seriously.
Do we need to make the decision about the card price right now because it needs to be in front of the budget meeting? Or could you go check in with Jeremy and do like I'll do it if you do it?
No decision needs to be made now. It doesn't affect our budget enough for
Okay.
it to matter. Yeah, this is just, we just chose May to choose a month, and it's kind of before the budget, just because it's a financial thing, so. Yeah, I can
Brazilian festival.
talk to Jeremy and get his, maybe ask him to have this conversation with his board and see where they
And
land. But
could you remind us, Julie, how, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot on a statistic, how many non-resident cards do we even have per year? I guess that would be in the budget, right?
No,
Well,
I mean,
it's
there's a
not the,
dollar
not the
amount.
number of them. I can,
Because that's also, I guess the dollar amount is also copies and faxes and things like that.
yeah, it's all combined. Hang on, let me do some math.
I can also run a report.
We're talking about 13 people's $5. I'm like, why?
Well,
Yeah, it's not, you know, it's
It
not.
looks like it's more than that.
No.
I will-
Months
No,
is
but
one
that's also
thousand $930 for prior months, you add.
So,
to-
so far this fiscal year, we've got 28.733333
Cards.
cards.
Okay.
So that's, I mean, that's part,
It's like-
so we've got 1, 2,
30 cards.
3, 4 half-year cards, it looks like. I don't know, that might not be right, because this was a part of year 2, so. Anyways, my point is, when I divide out the total of what's come in only for non-resident, it's 38 points something.
The
So less than
report that
30.
I have, the reports that we have are not always reliable, so I can't say anything. But it says the reports shows that we have 217 non-resident cards, but that would include expired cards at the moment. And they don't get, probably until they get expunged, it wouldn't come off of this. So that would mean in the past 5 years or so, 3 years.
Yes.
3 years. I can't remember when. Eric, do you remember when we delete expired patron cards? Is it 3 or 5 years?
I believe it's after 4 years.
Okay,
So
not neither of those then. Okay. Then
So last fiscal year, it was 33.25.
Okay.
And
that's
this
not
year,
fair
we're
to-
not even at 30 yet, so. Yeah, around 30 a year, I would say.
The reason we even, the reason we even have the out-of-district fee is to be fair to the local taxpayer who's
Mhm.
paying it in their taxes. And so that's the only reason we even have that fee.
Right.
And I suppose if every taxpayer voted to, I don't care, let Californians come to the library if they want, we could, justify not even having it. But,
You see that happening?
you know,
It sounds like maybe we just soon table this for a month and let Julie check in with Jeremy and see if a $5 raise would be amenable to them. And then in May, decide if we're gonna go up 5 or not.
The reason, to your point, Pat, of, $5 times 30 cards, it's not raising any money for us. I think the only reason that I would be in support of a $5 increase is so that eventually we don't have to do like a $50 increase, right?
Can-
Just to keep- yeah.
Can I just say that when we were at 60, we had 51 cards.
Okay. So
So we are losing some people.
Mhm.
$1 a week feels better to people than.
well, the biggest reason that a couple of my friends who live in California have a card here is because we offer things that their library doesn't offer, which is Libby and Hoopla.
Bingo.
Right. Yeah, and so they appreciate our services, so they're willing to pay for it. How much are they willing to pay? Plus they have to drive up here.
$60 is easier to spend for sure than 80.
Yeah.
And a summer
75.
pass that you can get all your kids on would be fun.
I think it's important too that we tell residents who are paying for their taxes that we're not allowing the California people to get it for free, that they're having to pay for it, and explain that to them, because I hear that,
Yes.
and
And whether
they're
or
not
not,
weird. It's like, I pay for it out of my taxes. Why do California people, we charge them? Oh,
yes, and that there is a real cost in having people who do not live here come into this building. Carpet's not free, electricity's not free. There's a real cost to having people come visit the library who are not paying into it, which is the other reason for having a card membership fee. to help, cover. And you're right, we're not talking like we're gonna get rich. Why don't we just make it $1,000 per person? We're not talking like that's gonna happen. That's of course not gonna happen. But asking somebody to pay for something that the rest of us have to pay for.
We'll
It would
talk
seem
to them, bring
unfair.
it back next month.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good, everyone okay with that? We'll just push it to May
I like
and,
to balance having as accessible as possible.
yeah,
And never having a dramatic increase that shocks
I
the
agree.
socks off
I
people.
tend to
right?
agree
I
with
think
that.
the incremental approach is better, and I really like your idea of having, or maybe it was your idea of having a partial year, like a summer card. Specifically, now that might make a lot more work for the staff than
Easy.
no. Okay, because you're right, if they have people coming into town, I don't think a 2-week pass is gonna help them, because they're gonna wanna check out the book and keep it for 3 weeks, so.
We actually
summertime
do,
thing.
just so you know, we have temporary cards. So like for uh forest rangers or things like that, if someone shows that they are here and have local residency for a temporary time, they come in and they get free cards. So that is an option. I think I've given a free card to some kids staying with their grandparents who live here for the summer, because we do it by household, and for the household they're there. So there are some times where we are giving free cards to people who don't technically live here, but they are here for a short time. But
They
people
can't
come
have the summer
through,
camp.
people on vacation, people that come and camp at Harris Beach or Sport Haven, if we offered, hey, you can get a 2-week library card for $10, that might be a little bit of a money raiser. Could use our hoopla while you're here or something.
And even just promoting the half-year card as a summer card, if you don't want to go with a quarter-year card,
Yeah.
that might be a fun thing. Last year, we had the big push to have everyone update their library card information or get a card. And I know it was really fun to kind of challenge people around town to, hey, have you gotten your library card yet? And to watch those numbers go up,
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk to Jeremy and I'll
Okay.
make sure this is back on the May agenda. We'll decide then.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Moving on, health insurance renewal.
Okay, so we get this through SDIS, of course. Most years I really just renew it because the board has decided to provide insurance, and this is something that we build into the budget. And so even though it's over the technical 15,000 a year, I've just kept the same insurance that we have every year and sign off on it. However, I just wanted you guys to see this. I think that we should sign off on this as well. But as time goes on, of course, this is a great benefit for our full-time staff, and it is a real draw for me, and I'm sure for other full-time people, that we pay 100% of insurance. It's such a nice thing, and it's a government thing. A lot of governments do that. But it is a huge expense. And as time goes on, I don't know what's going to happen, if it's going to become untenable to continue to do that. But I wanted you to see what we are offering, what we pay, even though you see the checks and you see the financial reports. But for 5 employees, we will pay $6,635 a month for insurance. So it's nothing small, but that's how much it is. Insurance is increasingly more and more expensive, which is why on our budgets, you see salaries and benefits becoming a higher percentage of our budget as time goes by. And that's happening everywhere, not just here. So I did last year, I think, had a conversation with our insurance person, Rick Gray, over at Seal Rock. He kind of he's our local agent. And he said, there could be options that SDAO offers great rates and he doesn't see better, or SDIS. And so he's always like, this is great. We only had a 5-ish% increase this year, which he said was good. But I just want you to be aware, like maybe if the board wants to wade into health insurance, then that's something that is an ordeal, but something to be considered maybe down the road. Not this year. Again, we didn't think of it, or we didn't come to this in time, but I just wanted it to be on your radar that, I think we should continue to offer insurance for as long as we can possibly afford it, which as far as I know is, into the, I don't know about indefinite, but into the future. But it could become worse. I don't know what the future holds. And I just wanted you guys to see this. And if you want to have a bigger insurance conversation next year, then that's something we need to probably start doing, maybe like January, where we start looking at a variety of options, whether or not you want to switch to the kind of plan we do, HSA, all those different stipends for buying it on the marketplace kind of thing. But this is the current bid, and not bid. This is not a bid. This is our current renewal quote, and it renews everything exactly as is. So I will approve it unless you guys have objections, but I just really wanted to present it to you for your thought for the future more than anything.
I do have a question. Can you tell me off the top of your head, how many we have employee only or employee and spouse? How many do we have in each category? How many employees fall in the categories? Are we doing families of five?
No, we don't pay, we pay employee only. So that's what
Employee
we
only?
pay. So we won't pay for anyone other than employee. So nobody is signed on with anyone.
You missed
They'd
that.
have to pay the difference out of their pocket.
Okay, and I'm sorry, you have that information on this. I just didn't see that.
Oh, that's okay.
information.
Yeah. So we have 5
Okay.
employees who do themselves only, and no add-ons.
Thank you.
I do not want to get into the business of insurance. I'll make that very clear.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Um,
And it's a lot to figure out, but I wanted you to
Yeah.
know that we get
Yeah.
this every year, and every year we have the option to dig into it and look for other alternatives. But I don't do that typically. I typically just renew what the board at some point decided to offer, because it's good and I like it.
Yeah. Well, I worked for a government up in Washington, county government, and the pay was lousy, but the benefits were fabulous.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's a
definitely
lot
part
of the
the
reason.
package. Yeah.
Yeah, people work for government entities for that reason a lot of times, because it's just,
yeah.
bennies are great.
And as we
And I'd
talk
like to be
about-
that.
Right. And as we talk about our inability to pay staff sometimes what they should, or what they should be paid, or that, our clerks can go down the road sometimes and get paid more at Taco Bell than they would by working here. I think, part of, not that those part-time clerks have health insurance, because only our full-time staff too do, but those benefits that we offer a lot of holidays off. We are generous where we can be. That makes us a desirable place to work. So
And I think it reflects in the quality of the employees that we have. I mean, everybody here is great,
Yes.
and that's why.
yes.
There's one or two exceptions.
I understand.
Does anybody wanna entertain the notion of getting into the weeds on this stuff next year?
Well, it sounds like we can decide in November, December, when
Yeah.
it's coming closer to January.
Yeah.
And renewal is July 1st, so that's kind of what's driving that.
Yeah, it's
So-
due, the renewal form
But-
is due now, essentially.
But it's gonna be key to do that before that, or we'll
Yeah.
never be prepared for
exactly.
budget documents and time. It would need to be much prior. to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Like
November.
Court said, we would bring it up in late fall and then start discussing so that the decision could be made in March or April.
Do you all wanna ask Julie to put that on her, you have a tickler file?
I
That's
do.
what they call them,
Mhm.
to bring it back up in September or?
I would say the decision would need to be made by March at the latest, Julie, because like our budget documents are already prepped. We couldn't. If we did it in April, we couldn't have it in time for budget.
Oh, sure.
It would
Yeah,
have
I
to be
mean,
before that.
To start the discussion, I would put this probably in like October, on the October agenda.
Okay.
And then we could reach out and start gathering information. I don't know when quotes would be available, but is that when? September, October, November? When do you guys think? When
Makes
you want
sense.
to bring this back up?
Oh, let's just,
Although I feel really sorry that I'm gonna miss it.
you did not. Let's just say October.
It's already the horror month. Right?
And then, I mean, and when we get to October, we may decide to just, leave it as is.
Right, maybe,
But
yeah.
at least it'll come up again.
Yeah, that's closer. The other reality is anybody who's gonna quote us is not going to guarantee those rates for July 1st start
Right.
date. And if we want to keep it on the fiscal year, then we'll be, ended up being a little closer to enacting it towards the end of the budget cycle, but we need to do the information gathering earlier on.
We, in order to have the budget properly prepped, we would need to know that well in advance.
So yeah, October seems to make sense to me.
Okay.
Okay, moving on, board member vacancy discussion.
Come on, guys.
Well, I don't want to necessarily lead this, but I just want to say, as far as I'm aware, there are 2 candidates who have expressed that they would be interested in being considered. And that is Brenda Jacques, and who was the other one? Someone else spoke to someone else.
Iris Lever.
Iris Lever.
Iris Lever, yes. Iris, so Iris Lever and Brenda Jacques. And so this is on here for you guys to decide how to proceed. We have until the end of June. Ideally, I mean, you can be a board of 4 if you need to be, but that's not
That's
preferable.
not a good idea.
Temporarily anyway, you can be, but so
Had some major
know-
summer vacation plans, you guys, so we gotta have.
yeah.
So
right.
I know Brenda, but what's Iris like?
Iris,
Iris
sorry,
is
go ahead.
the person who is the only member of the public who showed up to our budget hearing last year. And we were in the annex, you might recall, and
Oh, yeah.
and actually sat through the budget hearing and for the first half of it and made public comment about how she's able to use the library programming to enrich her family's life with all of the benefits and disadvantages both that come with.
Does she work?
She is a bookkeeper, which is always a
Oh, you know, but
plus.
they're like,
She's a heavy library.
You gonna miss her?
Yeah,
she won't miss me.
She's a- she's a heavy library user. Her whole family is from a local blue collar working family and has, she says, raised the kids on library programming to give them a much higher quality of education than you would normally expect in terms of number of experiences and types of art forms to be exposed to. So is a fan of the library, which we like.
And I think those of us that are older time library people know Brenda very well because she used to be the research librarian here and she works at across the street doing volunteer work and has been a
So she
real
is actually
supporter.
on the Friends of the Library board now, and she is actually on the endowment fund board as well. So when I
You know, we're
spoke to
friends
her, she
together.
kind of questioned, can I do all of those? And I said, well, you might want to give something up. But I don't know the rules about that. Might be, but anyway, so she is interested. I don't know her. I've never worked with her. She left a long while before I started.
Yeah.
She's
That's so funny to me. She was I had my first story time was with Brenda Shaw.
The thing I like about Brenda, she's got longevity. She understands where the libraries come from and can see where it's going with this background. And I don't know anything about Iris, and this is not a put down on Iris. It's just I think Brenda has a lot to bring to the table.
See, and I'm looking at it from a different way because I like the fact that somebody's younger is going to be on the board to take the place of somebody old and decrepit that's leading.
Well, at the risk of being recorded saying, speak for yourself. I'm not feeling old and decrepit.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm not decrepit, but
Oh, good.
but
Glad to have that clarified.
yeah.
I just really need to practice being on live stream. You
When I had you ladies for the Seroptimus thing, somebody at the table said, that accountant of yours, she seems like she'd be really thorough. I said, aren't you where she's also your mayor? She said, my mayor. So you kind of elevated the entire table.
Totally,
I
yeah.
appreciate
We
it.
had the mayor sitting with us.
So
Yes.
when we were discussing the vacancy of Russ that led to you appointing me to fill that seat
Mhm.
during that vacancy. I know there had been some discussion about also looking for age diversity and gender diversity.
Mhm.
And there is a third person who's lifted their name up, who is a local working dad. So a teacher and a father and somebody with more age diversity, we could say. So I do remember that there's been discussion about the honor
Mhm.
table full of ladies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is there something that we need to get out there asking people if they'd like to volunteer, because they ought to be all judged on the same plane that we.
Well, the way we did it when we ended up with Cora was Sue and I, you guys gave us recommendations and we interviewed each one based on the same basic questions, and we graded, that's not the right word, but we.
Evaluated.
Thank you. We evaluated them based on their answers, and then we each came to you, the rest of the board, with our personal recommendations, and that's how Cora got picked.
And it
We
seemed
can
like a
do
fair,
the same thing again. if-
I appreciate that you made very clear that you're asking the same questions of each candidate, and it was semi-formal, I would say.
Yeah.
It would be nice if somebody could be picked soon, at least come to a meeting while I'm still here, and then start with the very next meeting.
You're here for May and June, right?
Mhm.
So I guess do a couple of you want to do that process again?
Are the two of you happy to do it again, since you already have your horse and pony show?
I'm not sure if, as now as the chair, is it appropriate for me, or, because I will?
Yeah, you're not nominating.
Yeah, you're
yourself.
not restricted in what you can do at all. You can make motions, you can do interviews.
Okay, all right.
I unfortunately should not do it, and the reason for that is I'm expecting to be out of town helping with my grandchildren when my newest grandchild is being born, and so I will probably be out of town.
And it would seem awkward for me to pick my replacement. You know.
Perhaps.
Younger
Younger the
It's
better.
not awkward, Pat.
I would like more information about this gentleman that you're talking about. Did he express interest in doing it?
Yes, I don't remember if I forwarded the name to you, Julie. There was
I don't remember.
Not Wade Bell, is it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wade Bell.
That's the gentleman in our audience right now.
Oh, hi, Wade.
I was wondering why he was here.
Well, so,
That's a good move.
Reading our.
It is a good
report.
move.
I'm game to do the same process we did the last time. I think that's the most fair, gives everybody an even chance. I don't know any of the three really well.
Which is actually probably an advantage.
Yeah, I know Iris's husband, I think, if it's Mike Lever, they might have been customers of mine a long time ago. But that doesn't mean a thing, because that's
Vegetables from you.
15.
So do we still have the 7 questions we used last time?
I'm sure we can dig them up.
Yeah.
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 Given that,
So I'm happy to do it. I need a partner. Can't be just me.
Well, let's talk about timing, because I will be leaving here and unavailable from maybe May 20th on. When's our next board meeting?
When is
Before
May?
that, I think.
18th or-
May
2019.
I don't see why
I
not.
should be
You
here.
know,
for that.
I volunteer to work with her.
good.
Oh, good.
Thank you. You
And-
should. If you're,
Okay,
you've been a volunteer at the library the longest of anybody in this
yeah,
building.
In
So
this world.
yeah.
you have, speaking of a longevity perspective.
And I think you have the right to help choose your replacement,
I
frankly.
was sorry to hear about Russell.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, right,
Since this is being televised, it's probably better if we don't talk about.
right. Thank you.
But yes.
So, I'll just appoint Pat and I to, get together and get the questions ready and schedule interviews with Wade and Iris and Brenda. The sooner the better.
And if you can think of anybody else that you want included, let us know. 'Cause
Yeah.
we'll probably do them in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it won't be next week because I have a concert coming. I'm really, the week after is probably good. And the week after that is good too. And if we just, ideally, we get somebody appointed in time to at least come to the June meeting. Is that what you're thinking?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then we have the Azalea Parade and all that ahead of us too, so we have to
Right.
think about.
Oh, that's right.
So,
For that.
I'm just gonna make a deadline for us to appoint in time for the June meeting and see if we can make that.
Well, if you can find the list.
Yeah.
We might be able,
Questions?
I mean, it's
Oh, yeah,
April
it's
meeting
coming.
now. If you can get them scheduled,
Yeah,
might be able to discuss it in a point at the May meeting even, depending on
Right.
timing.
true. Or May. Okay, yeah, I'll hunt down and we'll talk. Okay. Shall we move on?
Yes. I will lodge a request with my unborn grandchild to delay getting born. I know, right?
Put it out there. You
Never know.
Your daughter may not appreciate that.
She already doesn't appreciate it. She told me that last night.
Okay, director evaluation and contract. So, yeah, Julie, did you wanna?
Sure,
Basi-
just, this is a discussion item. As you guys saw in my little tickler file when I accidentally included it last month or the month before. Typically, we have done this in March or April. We didn't do it last year because of my health issues. And my contract expires this year. I don't actually know the exact date, but around this time of year, summer. I guess it would be the end of June because it's July. I think my contract started July 1st, so it matches the fiscal year. If the contract expires on month to month, it's not like I'm immediately gone when that happens or anything. But it's time for eval. So this was just me jogging your memory. Kathleen and I spoke, and I believe that the plan would be for me to send the evaluation form, and then you can explain what you would like, Kathleen, for them to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so Julie's gonna email the basic evaluation form to all of us. And then if you can get your form back to me by May 5th, then we'll be able to go over them in an executive session at the May 19th meeting. And then we'll decide on the contract and open session, of course, because we can't make decisions in executive. And in addition to this, because this is just a basic checkbox kind of form, we would love, Julie would love our thoughts, all of our thoughts on what her focus should be in the coming year, mostly in terms of the strategic plan that we've got in place. What do we want her, working on? Part of the evaluation is giving you obviously the pro and con about how you're doing your job, but then also what we want you to do in the
Yeah, just general goals. I mean, whether
yeah,
they're
general goals. Like that's what I'm looking for.
Focuses of, I mean, obviously my goal is to do everything on the strategic plan, but if there's something in particular that you want me to
Yeah.
bump up in importance, then let me know. But goals generally, employment. I have a lot to work on. This has been a rough year, but we're getting there. So yeah.
Yeah, and just leave, make that open-ended. You can, word it however you want. And yeah, everything back to me by the 5th so that I can compile it and we'll be ready May 19th to talk about it in executive. Does that sound good to everybody?
Sure.
I don't care. I know you don't care, but you're still on the board.
You can't
I
be derelict in
care,
your
I
duties.
care.
June 30th.
We
That's what this
talk
whole-
about short timers.
Really.
Okay, so I think we have a plan. So Julie, you'll send those out in the next day or 2 or 3.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Director's report, you're on.
All right, 1 second. Contract discussion. Okay, so let me open my director's report here. All right, so I just gave you some facilities updates. I'm not going to go over all of this unless you guys have questions or want to comment on anything related to facilities. I will comment just that one of the landscapers that Sue compiled on her list is BCR Land Management. And he's actually already been hired by us, not for landscaping, but to resurrect our sprinkler irrigation system for the new plants. And so far he's been great to work with. I don't know what his rates would be, but he's lovely. So he was out, I think today actually at the library, kind of digging around and seeing what he could find. But any questions about facilities things or anything that I mentioned?
I'm really curious to see what the irrigation estimate ends up being, because I know that most of the plants that have been installed only need to be irrigated this first summer, and then once they have their own hopefully normal winter rainy season, they won't need further irrigation, and so I'm concerned about like the cost benefit ratio, but I know there's just no way that we have the volunteer power to go out there and hand water the whole summer when we have those hot, dry winds. And that already so much donated money has been converted into these plants. So I know it has to be done, and I'm just fingers crossed that the
Yeah.
irrigation.
And I know
repair
he
done in the
did
budget.
quote me that for the digging work and the investigative work,
Yeah.
he charges $75 an hour. So that's what we're paying him now as he's doing this work.
good.
So yeah, not bad. And I don't know if that's his normal rate, but that's what he gave us. Maybe because we're, you know, a library nonprofit, sometimes we get those kinds of discounts, but he's gonna definitely get us numbers and you know, we have a pretty extensive irrigation system with a panel that's inside the janitor's closet. We didn't need it. It was, you know, for the original establishment of the plants, and it's been turned off for a long time. So it's a matter of finding those. And I've been looking for the original plans because that would make his life a lot easier, but I have been unable to find them thus far. Eric, side note, if you have any ideas, if you have, or maybe ask Michaela, who's up in the attic all the time. if
That
she-
was my only idea.
she ask her if she has seen plans for irrigation system or sprinkler system. She probably hasn't, but that would save us
Oh,
some.
she'll be happy to go up there and organize to find it.
Hey, ask her to look for it. Ask her to look for landscaping plans, architectural plans or whatever. that include-
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious to see that quote too, because I'm a little concerned about it. It's a lot of digging and burying, so we'll see.
So I'll say out loud what I just said to Cora, depending on what the quote is. A consideration would be to do hourly hire of some high school students to come and water through the hot months, just to get us through that initial, that's just something to consider. It depends on what the quote is for the repair.
That's a good idea.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Looking at every 30 years.
Right. We don't want to fix it every 30 years because we don't use it except for 1 year out of every 30.
And we don't need, we won't be needing to irrigate in the future, like as long as we're planting the right things. So.
Right, yeah, and it's certainly just mostly this, you know, this summer or this dry season that they really need to be established, and that's should be good at them.
As a side note, Julie, if you have any conversation with Dawn or Karen and they're able to forecast future volunteer days a little bit more in advance, I've been getting notice like hours before they want us to come.
Yeah.
And my life is unfortunately, way too overscheduled to have been able to participate, but I want to. And if I knew even like 7 days in advance.
Okay,
Or
I'll let
like
them know.
2 weeks in advance, I'd probably have a better
Okay.
chance of being able to participate. And I did promise some sweat equity, and so far have sweated not a drop. So
Yeah, it's made it a little difficult because he gets a little discouraged when no one shows up, but it is, you know, people are busy. So I'll mention it.
Yeah.
and there's some sort of delay with the emails they send. I don't think from anyone else. Sometimes their email that reportedly was sent like Friday at 7 p.m. for Saturday at 9:30 a.m. comes to me like Saturday at 11 after they've already
Oh,
started.
strange. That's interesting.
It's only from them. So I don't know what that is.
I do know that their usual work day is their Sundays, and I think
Yeah.
Sundays, which they
Yeah, and that's impossible
Church
for
time.
both Cora and I,
Right,
and Sue
right,
probably.
which he's
and you
commented
probably.
on. So I don't
The
know.
afternoon would work.
Sunday
Yeah,
afternoon, I
I'd
don't know.
gladly, yeah,
Mhm.
like 1 o'clock. I
Yeah.
could do that.
12 would be pushing it, but.
Yeah, after church, that's doable, but.
Yeah.
So let's see, on landscaping also, it's a kind of a funny little thing that he actually went over there to the annex along the fence and planted 3 or 4 star jasmine plants, and then came back a few days later and the gophers over there had just
Oh.
ejected them.
Oh,
So he has star jasmine and he's kind of holding on to it. And he's like, well, he's like, there's no fighting it. He's like, they'll keep doing it. So he's thinking about maybe planting it elsewhere. So unless we want to catch a gopher, I don't know, that may make it a little harder to deal with over there, planting over at the annex. So I don't know anything about that.
They still have the pineapple guava I can give, and the gophers don't like them. So
Ooh,
they still
Pineapple
pineapple
what?
fabulous.
that's one of the plants that I offered. Nice.
Yeah.
I almost gave it away.
So Julie, when Don suggested a fence along the street out here, which sounds like a wise choice to do,
Mhm.
did he say what kind of a fence he was thinking of?
You know, he mentioned that there is a fence on Railroad Street by Hartwick Automotive in that area, but I didn't see it and I'm not sure which one he's referring to. He basically just said it's like a low chain link. He might have said black fence. And I mean, it's tough there because on Hemlock, my understanding, like, you know, people are there all the time, which doesn't bother me. It's Wi-Fi, there's restrooms close by that, you know, someone told me, and I don't know if it's accurate, but that the police will often recommend that to people who sleep in their cars or live in their cars as a good place to park because it's not exactly a residential neighborhood. It's between businesses. People don't bug them there. And so that's probably not going to be going away, you know, as long as they move and come back, and they follow the regulations or the code, then they're good. And, you know, we get a lot of complaints about that and, you know, why don't you get rid of them? And, you know, basically that kind of thing. It's like, it's public property. They have a right to be there. But with the new plants in particular, they have dogs, especially the people who live in campers often have a lot of pets and they will tie them up and or not. There was apparently a police incident at the library on Sunday with the dog running loose and the police were called. But they'll tie their dogs up to their cars at some point or to a tree or a bush over there. And then the dogs are like peeing on the brand new plants, which will kill them, you know, and people walk through where the brand new plants are planted and already some have been knocked down and then put back up. So we have a hard time keeping people off the landscaping. That's always a problem and we deal with that, you know, case by case and it's fine. But right over there in that spot, it's probably going to be a continued problem because I think there's always going to be people parked there. And while I don't want to necessarily, you know, block their access to the library, there is a gravel path, you know, like 20 feet towards Oak Street that gets you to the library too. So I don't know. That was Don's suggestion to try to save some of those plants there. I don't know what the cost would be. But he's not wrong that those plants are going to have a harder time getting established and thriving if there are traffic and pets. So
I have some thoughts about that, both from a botanical perspective and as a social services perspective, I guess I'll just say.
Laura,
Yeah,
hold that thought for just a second. I have got to leave the room for a few minutes.
Sure.
Sue, will you kind of run things? You are our vice president, right? Yes, you are. I think I'll be right back.
Cracks.
I can't wait.
Not wait.
Excuse me.
one thought that I initially have is we haven't budgeted for a fence.
right.
We have all sorts of things that we want to put up. And I know that there's like a lot of money going into the landscaping project. A lot of it has been donated, but it's not like we have massive coffers for this project.
Exactly.
So a cheaper option might be just to have somebody go to Delker Supply and get 4-foot hog wire fencing and just wrap a circle around the new shrubs, you know, just to like you would for deer fencing when you install a new blueberry plant or something.
Yeah.
But not actually dig and install and have a contractor put in an entire fence. If we did decide to put in a fence, I do prefer the idea of the lower chain link. And I don't remember if it's black or green, but it's kind of soft coated somehow. Lower so that it's not a visual like
Barrier.
fortress for the library.
I want them to look like a prison. Right.
Right. And also because I think if it is very tall, it will be not permitted under the Brookings municipal ordinance, but inevitably will happen that people will hang tarps from it to the camper. Right.
Oh.
So if we had an 8-foot fence, it will become a
wall. Yeah.
a tarp location.
Yeah.
From that to the roof of the camper for like a sunshade or something. And it
may for a low fence too, top of camper to low fence.
I think, yeah, it might be less attractive though.
Yeah, sure.
Um. The material being chain link also would make more sense. Again, I'm not endorsing installing a fence. I don't think we have the budget for it, probably. I would suggest that we put 4-foot fencing around, 4-foot wire fencing. You know what I'm talking about? It comes on a roll, that you get it at Delker. They load it up for you.
Wire.
And I think that would protect the plants from dog urine for the time period that was necessary. But if we do install the fence, we find funding for it or decide we need to do it, it does, I think, need to be low. It needs to be chain link so that it doesn't become a shelter against rain. Otherwise, we'll have many more people than currently sleeping against the fence.
Yeah.
I'll make a couple of comments and then I will relinquish control. My initial thought was, if it's too low, they'll just step over it.
Mhm.
It won't solve the problem. That'll keep most of the dogs out, but not all of them, but the people, it won't keep the people out if it's just low enough. So that was my initial thought. So then my next thought was, what about cattle guard fencing? And this is an ugly appearance. So I don't mean cattle fencing, but if you, the idea is basically you've got, 6-inch or 8-inch square opening so that it's not as tight as a chain link fence. And I don't think it's with the proper construction, it can be quite attractive. I know somebody who used it with wooden posts between the panels, and that leaves it open so that you don't create a condition where people can hide, against the fence, because that takes care of the problem you just verbalized.
There's a pretty example of that on your way to Chetco Point. There's a house that has
Is there?
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've seen that kind of fencing. I love it.
Right.
It's gorgeous.
I think, if it's done with an appropriate looking fence posts, if you will,
Yep.
it can be quite attractive. It really can be. But bare, no. I'm a little concerned about wrapping the chain link around the base of the trees because how long will it stay there? Well, if you attach your dog to it and your dog decides he's gonna run off, is he gonna jerk it right up and take it with him or, whatever? I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but that's something to think about. So those are my thoughts. And so now I'm relinquishing control of the gavel back to the chair. Thank
We're
you.
just talking about so many permanent fixes to short-term needs, like
Yeah.
the irrigation project. None of us, it wasn't part of our strategic plan. It's not part of our discussions. It's the landscaping project coming to us and asking for it. We need it for one summer. Similarly, do we need to install an entire fence that we haven't even put in our signboard that we want or the book drop that we want because we don't have funding for it. We didn't restripe the library, but now we're thinking about installing all this,
I wonder if installing some signage that just says, please.
No.
You're so
That
cute.
won't work.
Cash.
That won't work.
It won't work.
Dreamer.
So
It's gonna work
signs
in front of my
signs
house.
don't work, but it can kind of give us, sometimes they are helpful in that it helps with enforcement a little bit. So if
Helps
we
staff go
really
insane.
need something, we can say, you were told there's a sign right there. And so it's not like then we have to go confront someone and explain the rules to them. And well, I didn't know that was a rule, like that kind of thing. So it helps there, but people certainly do not pay attention to them, not even when we're open, let alone when no one's there. They wouldn't
I
listen.
think maybe my last mistake as a board member would be to plant poison ivy and poison.
A fine way
Actually,
to thank
Dawn-
and Karen for all their work.
Don Munson actually said he got some poison oak out of the corner of Oak and Railroad over there. There was poison oak.
Mistake.
And on that side of the building, blackberries are growing through the juniper.
So back to one more comment about the fencing. If you went with a cattle type fencing that we were discussing, what if we had this section of fence sponsored by Del Kerr, this section of fence sponsored by, and then run it as a advertisement opportunity. for
Or could just
businesses.
donate the hog wire themselves.
I know,
you
it's lovely. I mean, that's
So
another,
it's not a bad
another
idea.
approach,
It's not a bad idea.
let people buy their legacy section of fence.
They sell it in
Businesses.
8-foot lengths.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
I can see my Century 21 sign.
there you go. That
Yes,
could be
this-
your, instead of poison oak, just sponsor.
Sponsor section of fence. Okay, do we wanna, do we wanna price some stuff? Do you, as two of the people who most familiar with the facilities. Do we want to price things? Do we want to leave this for a while? What do we want to do?
I'm not too keen on getting new quotes, honestly. I mean, I can do it. If you guys want me to, I can get a quote for a fence, but like Cora said, it's not in our budget. I just think we have other things that are higher on the priority list. I'm thinking about the fire marshal things inside. I would love to be able to solve all the problems, but
Well,
unfortunately,
so what if
I think chicken wire around the plants is not a bad idea, you know?
I didn't say chicken wire because the stuff's so flimsy now. It's not
Oh,
very
yeah,
sturdy.
thicker version
It's
of
like
that.
it's a 4-inch wire.
Yeah.
More rigid than that. The other thing is to simply don't plant stuff that can't tolerate people walking on it.
It's the P, I think, is the problem.
Well, I don't know, bark looks pretty good, you know?
Well, right now, those are,
Something like that.
we want trees, things that are gonna grow a little bit taller to create a bit of a visual barrier between us and the car wash parking lot. And so those just need time to establish.
I
So,
do have some of the wire fencing that I could temporarily donate to the landscapers if they wanted to explore it with like the staples that go in. Sue's point is well taken that the landscape staples are not going to, keep a dog under control
Right.
if it's more than 6 pounds probably, but
sometimes a visual barrier is enough.
it's enough.
like,
Yeah.
They're not
So
gonna
if they
feed
well,
through
that
it.
maybe that plus signs. I mean,
If they wanted to circle each new plant with like a little sign of like,
we're trying to establish here. Just leave us alone for a year.
yeah, something.
I'm a
But I,
baby, don't hurt me.
Yeah, there you go. Don't pee on me. You've seen the don't tread on me list.
Yeah, don't pee on me. I love that. That's exactly what we should be saying. Please don't pee on me. With a little picture of a dog.
Anyway, I would
Sign on my
donate it
desk.
temporarily to the use. I don't know if I have enough for all the plants they want to save, but I would need it back eventually because I do use it against the deer when I'm trying to get a little baby blueberry going or something.
Well, I certainly couldn't guarantee that you would get it back because there's a decent chance it would be stolen, so we would just buy our own then probably. Which is
Well, I can take the risk. I just mean I wouldn't want it to go to the dumpster eventually.
fair, okay.
Okay.
All right, well, I will
So-
talk to Dawn about that and we'll see. And let's try that option for plants that need to be protected from dog pee.
Sounds like a plan.
Do you have a staff member who could make a cute little laminated?
Yeah, we can get a sign made for sure.
Remember the dog, but you have to have a picture of a dog.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we also want people peeing.
Exactly, yeah.
So then you say, don't be a dog, don't pee on me.
There you go.
I think, oh dear.
Yeah, now we're getting.
I'm like, okay, let's see.
What's the next thing?
Do you have more to your report?
Yeah, Dylan, do you want to keep going on this or?
Happy to see that
I'm good on that one unless anyone else has comments.
I'm happy to see that you're moving ahead on discussing fundraising.
Good. So that was,
See how that
that was the
turns
next
out.
thing on the list that was a pretty good conversation. I mean, I didn't necessarily do anything with that information other than relaying it to you. And I think this might be something that we should consider doing a workshop for, this can be a long-term plan. It's not something that we need to rush for. I don't think, particularly because we were able to get a significant amount to transfer to LIF for this coming proposed budget, which was nice.
Yes, I noticed that.
So,
Yeah, Cora also, if you don't mind, she shared some different links, per our request to have her look into this, of different giving type apps
Yes.
and
mhm,
stuff. So we have a lot of resources we can be looking at.
yeah, so I haven't done anything with that. I've had a million other things doing, so I don't know. You guys want to give me a month or a goal, or what do you want to do next when it comes to fundraising? Do we want to put it on another board meeting agenda, or do you want something specific next? Do you want me to?
Well, I like the idea of a workshop. What do you guys think?
I do, yeah.
And not necessarily in May, but
Right.
June?
How long?
When are you back?
That depends on how bad that grandbaby is.
And we want the new board member.
Let me say probably
Well, I'll
probably
still
late
be here.
June. I should
That's
be
true.
pretty solid to be back in by late June, I
I
think.
think it would be nice if you could have the new board member there while I'm still,
I agree.
yeah. I agree.
So I probably should do it.
Maybe a workshop in late June, is that possible?
Late June? Okay, I'll aim for
Give
that.
Sue time to return.
Sue, if I were to try to schedule that right now, you wouldn't know if you can commit. It depends on the baby, right?
It depends on the baby. I've been told a week before baby arrives, but baby can be born the third, fourth, or fifth, and then a couple of weeks afterwards, so
That's May.
no, it's June.
It's June.
Maybe we should just do this in July.
July, yeah, I mean, that, like I said, there's no deadline. When is safe for you? When's the earliest safe date for you, Susan?
Probably past, well, before I just open my mouth, let me just take a look at the calendar.
4th of July is a Saturday.
Our regular board meeting is July 21st.
It'd be nice to do it before that, I think, right?
I don't know that it matters. I mean,
Yeah. I would say sometime around the 7th or 14th or somewhere around there would be fine.
Of July.
Yeah.
Can I come?
Of course you can.
it'll be
Remember
a
the
public
public,
meeting.
public's invited to workshops, right?
Mhm.
Of course you can come.
We might even-
Yeah, so, I'm sorry,
So we might even let you talk, Beth.
there you go.
Special
How
status.
could you stop me?
Emeritus, right?
So
Yeah,
Guys
that
prefer,
weekend,
you know what, the 14th is bad for me. So I would prefer the 7th if that's possible.
And I wasn't
Um,
necessarily saying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean,
Oh, okay,
was saying this in general, somewhere around there. would
Yeah.
work.
okay.
Tues-
Well, you
Tuesday
guys
the
pick a
s-
date. I just can't do
Tuesday
the,
the seventh is the Pride Fest at Azalea Park.
Okay.
That I'm gonna be working a table for Legal Women Voters.
Wait, a Tuesday?
That's what I've been told, Tuesday the 7th, yeah. So. And Monday I'll be serving at St. Tim's, so Monday's not a good one either.
So now we're on to Wednesday, maybe. or
Yeah,
Thursday.
Wednesday works.
Wednesday, the 15th.
Yeah, Wednesday the 8th or Wednesday the 15th, even better. Thursday, July 9th works. All of the week of the 13th works for me, pretty much.
Anyone else have dates to exclude or prefer? Cora, you have a busy schedule.
I like Wednesday the 8th. I like Wednesday the 15th.
Both Wednesdays too.
Okay, let's do one of those. What
No, I
time?
won't, no, we're not starting up again until August. So Wednesday, the 8th, I have a 10:30 meeting down in Smith River. I'll be
Okay.
back in town by noon.
Let's say I work and maybe the new person will work too, so let's say the evening.
That would be lovely. I can do the evening.
So Wednesday, the 8th at 6 PM?
Sure.
Board meeting time?
Sounds good.
Sorry to take
Okay.
your dinner again.
And that is a library workshop, and that's gonna be on fundraising.
Fundraising and the LIF kind of thing. All right, I will. That gives me plenty of time. That's good.
All right. And so Cora, do you mind if I send your email around to everybody else?
I would be happy to. I just didn't respond to everything.
Yeah.
Run afoul of public meeting laws.
Right, exactly. So I'll share her list of resources with all of you,
But don't reply.
but don't reply. Oh, yes.
The workshop would be here
Yeah,
at the library.
yeah, we'll do it there at the same place.
Okay.
Money raising.
Cool. All right, is there anything else about Julie's director's report that we want to?
Well,
discuss?
I want to say again, how much I enjoy the statistics. You do such a good job of giving us an overview of what's happening here. And I just noticed today, as I was looking at library programs, that since 2024, you've doubled the amount of programs that you're offering. That's very remarkable.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we're doing great on the programming front. I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of is improving programming here and increasing it.
And I wanted to comment, for the first time, you're starting to not look like Death Warm Gilbert.
It's maybe a filter. Wait till you see me in person before you say that. You'll be like, oh, wait,
Yeah,
no.
I've seen you in person. You're looking much better.
I'm feeling much better. The last couple of months in particular, I feel like myself, so it's good.
That's good. There's a question about Mango languages. You have any idea what happened to Mango languages? Everybody decided they wanted to be fluent in other languages?
I don't know. I saw a couple of posts on social media like TikTok and Instagram of people talking about Duolingo because they switched to using some sort of AI pieces underneath, and people were kind of upset about that. And so I'm curious. I was actually wondering because that went a little viral with just talk about learning languages and language software. That's my best guess is that people, I wondered that too when I was entering the stats. I was like, oh,
I've used it twice and I liked it.
in people's minds that
Yeah.
it's something out there because there were a lot of people responding and saying, oh, you should check and see if your local library has Mango languages or, suggesting alternatives. So that's my guess, but I don't know for sure.
I just fully credit myself because I was waiting in line for the tide pool room to open one day and this pack of high schoolers, I shouldn't say that, use that terminology, a group of high schoolers came in. They're talking about how they can't wait to get out of this town and they're going to move to Europe when they're older and what country they're going to move to. One's moved to Denmark and one's going to move to Germany. And I said, oh, did you know that you can actually start learning the language here at the library through Mango languages? And I taught them all how to enroll.
Yay.
But I didn't enroll 26 people, so I don't know.
That's awesome.
That was
Mom.
remarkable, and 25% of the year has elapsed, and we're already at 50% of last year's number.
Mhm.
So that's really pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would be cool if one of the language teachers at the school district though was also telling people they could brush up over the summer on it.
I know who the French teacher is.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe even offer them extra credit.
Okay.
And from what I read, it works fun. Duolingo is fun. I don't know if you ever used it, but it's a game. And you learn a lot of vocabulary and you learn like grammar rules, but you don't really learn how to speak the language. And so a lot of people start there and realize that it's not really getting them where they want to be. So it can be a good place to learn and to like get a basis, but when you want to actually become semi-conversational, Mango Languages is much better. It teaches you to speak the language. So it is a good resource.
So does Mango
Worth paying.
language have a ASL option?
Ooh, I don't know.
I think it does.
I think they added one just a couple of years
Yeah.
ago. Maybe. Yeah.
Thing. Okay.
I'm sorry, what is an ASL?
They
American
have a
Sign
pirate
Language.
option on National Pirate Day. Pirate.
Okay,
Cool.
just curious.
Any other comments for Julie on her report? It's pushing 8 o'clock, so let's we are doing really good about long meetings Tuesdays, which is fine. I'm not complaining. I love the conversation and the discussion. It's very worthwhile.
This is a
Board
long
member-
agenda. Yeah, there
Yeah,
was
there was a huge agenda today, yeah. Board member announcements, anybody?
I was able to finish my interview with Kat for the Heritage Project, and I know that we all were assigned to do the interview, and I don't know why, but I was under the impression we'd be videoed, and I hate being videoed. And it was so much of a more pleasant experience than I anticipated because it's just a little tape recorder on the desk. Kat's such a great active listener and asked the questions in such a engaging way. You don't feel like she's just reading off a list, So it was a positive experience.
Got to use the telephone booth.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of a cute little building together room, isn't it? Well, I have to share the book that Sue loaned me that sat on my shelf for months, I think. I'd started it, and the first couple of chapters was a bit of background, and it wasn't catching me. And then I got to the point where the young man goes and does his apprenticeship, or what do they call it? Not apprenticeship, but
Yeah, see something.
whatever that word is.
The ocean.
And from that point forward, I couldn't put it down, and I finished it like in a weekend. And it's a very good book. I highly recommend it.
What is it?
Carry On, Mr. Bowditch. And it's a children's book. It was not Caldecott, it was
It was Newberry.
Newbery winner.
I think I remember reading it in school. Like I don't remember it, but that name is so familiar to me. I
Been
might be-
around for a very long
Yeah.
time, probably 40 years.
Yes.
Or so.
think I'll
Yeah.
read these
I'm
into it.
really glad you enjoyed it,
I
Kelly,
loved it.
because I thought it was terrific.
Yeah, cheers.
It's very readable,
Mhm.
and there's a lot that you can learn
Yeah.
about navigation on the ocean
Yeah.
from it. I
Yeah.
came away knowing more than I ever
Oh,
thought.
totally, me too. And and you go on to Wikipedia and it's like, and they talk about this guy and all these things that he
Yeah, it's
invented
real.
and it's like, wow.
Yeah, he's real.
So yeah, just if you're gonna read it, just work through those first few chapters. It's just about the young man growing up, and it's it feels like a kid's book at that point, but then it stops feeling like a kid's book.
It does. Well, then he moves from being a child to being. a
Yeah,
young adult,
exactly.
And then you can relate to him.
Yeah.
better. See,
Yeah, so very, very good book. Thank you, Sue.
Well, you have to wait to get the audiobook because I just got it.
good for you. I understand about the first couple of chapters or so, or pages or whatever, because I had the same problem with Michener. I
Yes.
started reading Hawaii, and the first 15 pages are, and the wave crashed on the anemones, and they gathered, and it just goes on and on like this for 15 pages, put me to sleep. And I powered on through it and had a really good read.
Mhm.
So I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Kind of like sometimes a great notion.
Oh,
Was
is that just-
totally bored with that
That's
for
Ken Kesey, isn't
the
it?
first couple of pages that are chapters.
Yeah.
And then you can't put it down.
Wow. Anybody else?
I want to point out that Kathleen and I are busy with a production on the weekend of May 2nd and 3rd at 7 o'clock in the evening on Saturday the 2nd, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday the 3rd down at Crescent Elk Auditorium. This is important to both she and I because we are practicing each week at least once and often more times with our group to sing in the North Coast Chorale. You may recall I said a meeting or two ago that she lassoed me into this
Yes.
chorale. That was a totally unintentional pun, but
It's
it
okay.
worked. It was cute. But I would encourage you to come. You can buy the tickets for 66% of the full price if you buy them before you show up. But even if you do pay for it at the door, you're still not gonna go without dinner because it's $15 a head. So
It's always such a great concert.
And the organization again?
Kathleen knows more about this organization than I do.
Yeah, the choir, the chorale that we sing in is North Coast Chorale. The umbrella organization that organizes these is Pacific Music Guild. And the Facebook page is under Pacific Music Guild. And that's where the event is listed. And yeah, and we got some great songs that we're singing.
You have some great songs. It's a lot of fun. I encourage anybody who has any interest at all in singing that they might consider
Yeah.
expanding their personal experience and enjoying this. We could use more men.
Yeah, men.
For those who are so inclined. And
I told Kat years ago, I don't sing.
I'm 0 for 2 with my 2 nominees.
I know, we'll keep working on them.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say that this is one of the problems that we tried to address as a board a couple of months ago, which is how do you find out what's going on in this town? Because this group has been singing for a couple of years. I've been here for 25 years and until Kathleen mentioned it, I had no idea it even existed. So this is not the only activity in this town that there's no central clearinghouse.
Does it ever
That
perform in
board
Brookings?
right there.
Beg your pardon?
Sorry.
Does the North Coast Chorale perform in Brookings?
Oh, Diane Smith and I have been trying to convince them to do so, but no, they don't yet. And that's partly because we have this gigantic set of risers that has to get it put on the stage at Crescent Elk, and
That's
there's no place in Brookings that can accommodate it.
Hmm.
The Wild River Symphony, which is we consider kind of a sister organization of ours, they come up here. They do a show in Crescent City and a show in Brookings, but they don't have that problem.
See, I not only go to that every year, but I also go to the Tsunami Swings.
Yeah, Tsunami Swing is underneath Pacific Music Guild's umbrella.
Which I really enjoy.
They're good. They'll be at the Lucky 7 car show that PPA is sponsoring
It's
in
like
August.
Yeah, and so one more comment, and that is that the Wild River Symphony actually is in Brookings at Trinity Lutheran Church. I think it's the 26th.
7? It's
Anyways, there's vocal music available, instrumental music available, as well as the theater art, that sort of thing.
27.
It's the
27.
27. So, and now I'll stop talking.
I still want to hear you, but I want to let the staff go home.
okay. Anything else? I think we are good and adjourned. 7:56. Wow.
Wait, this was our
Longest meeting we've had
longest
in a while.
in a year, so don't get scared off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So this is the longest meeting in a year, so don't be scared off.
Yeah, usually it's only an hour long.
Hour and a half. something.
I was committed to it. I, however long it took.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Probably.
Practice. Yeah, there you go.
Oh. All right, everybody have a good night. I'll see you.
I
Time.
had a salad with Say what, Julie?
I'll see you next time. I'm signing off.
Yes, thank you.
I don't remember what we called the back.